We were soulmates, deeply in love and planning our future, until the doctor told us she had only 3 months to live. What happened in those final days still breaks me every single night. If you have ever loved someone so much that losing them felt like losing yourself, this story will hit you right in the heart. Stay with me till the end, because what happened between us was more painful than anything I could have imagined. My name is Daniel, and this is the story of me and Emily, the girl who taught me what real love feels like, and then taught me how to survive without her. I met Emily on a rainy afternoon in a small coffee shop near my college. I was rushing to get out of the rain and accidentally bumped into her, spilling coffee all over her notebook. I expected her to get angry, but instead she laughed and said the coffee stains actually made her boring notes look interesting. That laugh. I still remember that laugh like it happened yesterday. We started talking that day, and somehow we could not stop. She had this way of making ordinary moments feel magical. The way she talked about her dreams, her crazy love for old music, her habit of collecting postcards from places she had never even visited. Every little thing about her felt like a piece of art. We exchanged numbers that day, and from that night onward, we texted till 3 in the morning, talking about everything and nothing at the same time. Within a few weeks, I knew I was falling for her. And within a few months, I knew I never wanted to fall for anyone else again. Our love story was not filled with grand gestures or expensive gifts. It was built on small moments. Long walks in the park where we talked about our future. Late-night phone calls where we would fall asleep just listening to each other breathe. Handwritten letters she used to leave in my bag before I left for work. She once told me that love is not about grand promises, it is about showing up every single day, even in the smallest ways. And she showed up for me every day without fail. We used to plan our future like it was already written in stone. A small house with a garden. A dog named Biscuit. Sunday mornings with pancakes and bad jokes. A life full of simple happiness. We got engaged on her birthday, under the same rainy sky where we first met. I remember getting down on one knee, my hands shaking, my heart pounding louder than the rain itself. She cried before I even finished the sentence. That night we celebrated with her favorite chocolate cake and danced in the living room to an old song from her father's collection. It was one of the happiest nights of my life. We started planning our wedding. Emily wanted a small ceremony, just close family and friends, fairy lights, and her favorite flowers, white lilies. We booked the venue. We picked the songs for our first dance. We even joked about what our kids would look like. Life felt perfect. Too perfect, almost like the universe was preparing to test us. It started with small headaches. She brushed it off as stress from wedding planning. Then came the dizziness, the fatigue, the days she could barely get out of bed. I convinced her to see a doctor, thinking it was just exhaustion. I still remember that day, like it was frozen in time. We sat in the small white doctor's office, holding hands, laughing nervously about how she probably just needed more sleep. Then the doctor said the words that shattered my entire world. It was a rare and aggressive form of brain tumor. The doctor said the tumor was too advanced to operate on safely. He said with treatment, she might have 3 months. Maybe a little more if she was strong. I remember the silence in that room. The kind of silence that feels heavier than any sound. Emily just sat there staring at her hands, not saying a word. And I could not breathe. I wanted to scream, to argue, to tell the doctor he was wrong, but nothing came out. When we got home that night, we sat on the couch not saying anything for hours. Finally, she broke the silence and said something I will never forget. She said, "Daniel, I do not want to spend my last days being sad. I want to spend them loving you louder than ever." That single sentence changed everything. We decided that instead of mourning the time we did not have, we would celebrate every single moment we did have. We canceled the big wedding plans and instead had a small, beautiful ceremony in her parents' backyard, under string lights with her favorite white lilies. We got married 3 weeks after her diagnosis. It was simple, but it was the most beautiful day of my life. She wore a soft white dress, her hair falling gently around her face, and when she walked toward me, I forgot about the tumor, the doctors, the countdown. All I saw was my best friend, my soulmate, walking to become my wife. We danced barefoot in the grass that night, laughing and crying at the same time. For the next few weeks, we tried to live like a normal couple. We went on small trips whenever her energy allowed. We watched her favorite movies until she fell asleep on my shoulder. We wrote letters to each other, to be read on days we felt weak. She started a memory box, filling it with photos, ticket stubs, and little notes for me to open after she was gone. Every single day felt like both a gift and a goodbye. But as the weeks passed, her strength began to fade. The headaches grew worse. Her memory started slipping, sometimes forgetting small things, other times forgetting entire conversations we just had. It broke my heart seeing the woman who once remembered every tiny detail about me, slowly losing pieces of herself. There were nights she would wake up crying, scared, asking me if she was going to disappear completely. I would hold her and tell her that even if her memory faded, my love for her never would. As her body grew weaker, her spirit remained unbelievably strong. She kept smiling for me, kept making jokes, kept trying to make our remaining days feel light, even when I could see the pain behind her eyes. One evening, about 2 months into her diagnosis, she asked me to help her write letters for people she loved, her parents, her best friend, and me. She told me not to read mine until after she was gone. That night broke something inside me because it was the first time I truly accepted that she was not going to make it. As her 3rd month approached, she was moved to hospice care. The hospital room replaced our cozy bedroom. Machines replaced the sound of her laughter. But even there, she tried to make me smile, telling me stories, humming our favorite songs, holding my hand tighter every time I sat beside her. On what would be one of our last nights together, she looked at me and said, "Promise me you will still find happiness. Promise me you will not let this break you forever." I could not speak. I just nodded through my tears, holding her hand like it was the only thing keeping me alive. 3 days later, on a quiet Tuesday morning, with the sunlight gently spilling through the hospital window, Emily took her last breath in my arms. The doctors had said 3 months. She lived exactly 3 months and 4 days, fighting until her very last moment, loving until her very last breath. The world felt like it had stopped spinning. I remember sitting there, holding her hand long after she was gone, unable to accept that the girl who filled every corner of my life with warmth was now gone forever. A few days after the funeral, I finally opened the letter she left for me. In it she wrote, "Daniel, if you are reading this, it means I am no longer there to hold your hand. But please know that loving you was the greatest gift of my life. Do not spend your days mourning me. Spend them living for both of us. Find joy again, dance again, love again if your heart allows it. And know that wherever I am, I will always be your soulmate." I still visit her grave every Sunday, bringing white lilies, sitting there talking to her like she is still listening. Some days the pain feels lighter. Other days it feels just as heavy as that day in the hospital room. But I hold on to her words every single day, trying to live not just for myself, but for both of us. Losing Emily taught me that love is not measured by how long it lasts, but by how deeply it is felt. We were only married for a short time, but in that short time, I experienced a lifetime of love. If there is one thing I want you to take from our story, it is this. Tell the people you love that you love them today. Hug them a little tighter. Hold on to every small moment, because you never know which moment will become your last beautiful memory together. Emily may be gone, but the love we shared will live inside me forever. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, comment below, and tell me how you felt while watching it, and subscribe for more emotional stories like this one. And if you have your own heartbreak story, share it in the comments, because somewhere out there, someone might need to hear it just as much as you needed to share it.